Hi folks, welcome to Chiefkirk Outdoors. Today I'm gonna do a mail call, and several of you guys are already familiar with this. Our friend Dan sent a package, and there's several of you already did videos on this, and I thought I'd take my turn. I got this Saturday, but it's been nasty weather, rainy and so forth, and I haven't been able to do a video on it. But anyhow, this comes from Dan over at Blind Owl Bushcraft and Survival. And if you don't know Dan, I highly recommend that you go check out his channel, and I'm gonna put a link to it in my description on this video. Dan is a very interesting fella. He lives in a place called Bohol, Philippines, and it's real hot there all the time because Dan's always sweating. And personally I'd have done moved to Alaska, but he likes it. But anyhow, there's some stuff there that he sent. Let me go ahead and open it up. He did a thing on his video, one of his videos about it, and plus several of the guys here have been doing it. There's some stuff that comes from, if I'm not mistaken, this comes from the inside of the leaf or the bark from a palm tree, I believe is what this is. Never seen or heard tell of it before. And I'm gonna do a quick read on the note that he sent me to myself. Okay, he's describing how to use this, but I'd already seen him do a video on it too, so I had a pretty good idea what it was. This first bag, and I'm gonna show it to you close, is called Chiefkirk, and it's a flash tinder. It's a little windy out here, folks. It's a flash tinder. I'd say pretty much like some of the stuff that we have around here, and I'm gonna do this on a different video. Now this stuff here, and the reason I know how to pronounce this is because I follow Dan. I enjoy looking at his channel. He does some pretty interesting stuff there in the Philippines. He's liable to have to stop one of his videos long enough to kill a cobra that's getting a little bit too close to him. You just never know what's going to happen in one of his videos, and he's a real good guy, and he's worth watching. So I highly recommend that you go and check out his channel. If you like what he's doing, subscribe. Tell him Chiefkirk sent you. This is spelled L-U-T, L-U-T. And I would have called that Lut Lut, but I've watched his videos and he calls it Lut Lut. So I'm going to show you that a little closer. And Dan told me he was sending me some of this stuff, and he said, since I like to do solar fires, he wanted me to try this. And I thought, okay, I will. According to his instructions, you just take a pinch of it, which I have here, a pinch. He said you don't need much. And James over at Harshman Hills did a video recently. He used a ferro rod to fire it up, and that worked great. But I'm gonna do it like Dan suggested. with a magnifying lens and see if I can get it to fire up. Now before I do that, I'm gonna put on my extra shades here, which I always do that whenever I'm doing a solar fire, because when you look at that for a long time, it messes with your eyes. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reposition you a little closer here. So that you can see what's going on. Now, this is February the 8th, and during this time of year, you know, the sun's not near as strong as it normally is. So I'm gonna use this great old big magnifier here, and I'm gonna put a little dot on there. You see the smoke almost immediately? Now, how do you tell if it's burning or not? I don't know, but I think it is. So I'm gonna see if it'll light this sage grass. I see some red in there, so I know it's blowing. Oh, I hear. I guess you need to see what I'm doing, don't you? Sorry about that, folks. I think while I was doing that, it went out. Well, I just had a tiny little piece. So guess what? I'm gonna do it again. I'll do that one more time, folks. Reposition the camera here just a little bit. Like I said, it's windy. So I'm gonna use just a little bit bigger piece this time so it'll last longer. See what happens. Boy, a minute ago when I did that, as soon as it hit, it got smoke, and it's smoking right there, folks. Look at that. See if we can get it to. Alright folks, it didn't light, but it turned orange and I could see that it was trying its best, but the problem is my grass has got a little damp, which I'm not surprised, because if you can see around me, you can see water all in my yard here where it's really damp. But anyhow, that actually worked good, and if this had been dry, I believe it would have caught right up. But anyhow, just wanted to show y'all about Lut Lut, and it does seem to work pretty good. And I'm not going to waste all of it on this one batch of grass because I want to play with it some more. So anyhow, it did work. And I don't know if this grass will even light with a lighter. Yeah, but it ain't easy. There we go. We at least got fire. There's always a backup plan. So if I don't set the place on fire, we'll be good. Fortunately, I live right across the road from the fire department, so they got my back. Folks, thank y'all for joining me for this little experiment, which actually was a success. I wanted to see if the Lut Lut would catch with a magnifying lens, and boy did it ever. I mean, it just almost as soon as it hit it, it was glowing. So it really does work good. Thanks, Dan, for sending me this stuff, and I will play some more with it. But till next time, y'all be sure to go check Dan out. He's a good guy. You'll like what he does. Thank you for joining me on this little experiment. Till I see you next time, God bless you. Don't forget, tell somebody you love them, because they may not be here tomorrow. For that matter, we may not either. Thank you, folks.